Hello and good afternoon. Many thanks for joining us here on Newsfeed. My name is Musa Salah. Let's now take a look at the top stories making news at this hour. Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has presented himself at the DCI headquarters following allegations by Deputy President William Ruto that he grabbed a 200-acre piece of land belonging to the National Youth Service in Yatta, Machakos County. Speaking to journalists after recording a statement with the DCI, Kalonzo, who was accompanied by other leaders including Senators Mutula Kilonzo Jr. and James Orengo, has maintained his innocence. Led by Orengo, Kalonzo's legal brigade has on the other hand called on the DCI to probe Ruto, who last week, Friday, brought to the fore claims that Kalonzo had stolen the controversial Yatta piece of land.
So this is a serious matter. We have gotten an assurance from the Director of Criminal Investigations, because nobody is above the law, that Mr. William Ruto will be required to come and record a statement to the formal charges which are now being prepared. Yes. And our team of lawyers are working together with the Director of Criminal Investigations to expedite this matter as quickly as possible. And we are going to participate in those proceedings on behalf of the Vice President. But I hope by taking expeditious action on this matter, it will be demonstrated that nobody is above the law in this country.
Now, the Ministry of Health, in conjunction with UNDP and the government of Japan, have today launched the Smart Anti-Epidemic Robotic Solutions in the fight against COVID-19. The 3 robotic devices that cost 2 million shillings each will assist in temperature checks, act as teleconferencing device between health workers and patients in isolation centers, as well as broadcast COVID-19 protocols, such as instructing people who wear their masks wrongly to wear it properly. The 3 robots, Shujaa, Tumaini and Jasiri, are said to be placed at JKIA, the Kenyatta National Hospital and Bagathi Hospital for a pilot program. Now let's head over to Cappo. Nyang primary school teacher has been shot with an arrow in the ongoing flare-ups in Cappo. The teacher and learners from the school had to wait by the roadside for hours to be evacuated. Tens of non-local teachers have since fled the volatile region, leaving education in the area, even as many schools are closed due to insecurity. Meanwhile, 2 more police officers were on Thursday evening shot and killed in an ambush by gunmen at a bridge marking as a boundary between Turkana and Baringo counties. Head of Rapid Deployment Unit, who is also the chief inspector in Cappo, and his driver were in a lorry in a convoy of 3 vehicles when they came under attack. It is the same place that a senior general service unit officer was shot and killed in another ambush. Now, a section of MCS from Garissa have faulted Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i following his directive on Tuesday. Matiang'i directed the regional and county commissioners to ensure that all chiefs are in their jurisdiction. He noted that disputes over electoral and administrative boundaries fuel intercommunal clashes in the region and promised action, including dismissal of chiefs who have overstepped their jurisdictional boundaries.
Overstepped his mandate and assumed other government agencies' responsibility to demarcate boundaries. His utterances are a recipe for more conflicts among the communities that have coexisted for centuries and that will be coexisting forever. The CS direction has no legal basis and is illegal. That some of the administrative units were in existence way before the CS was born, and it will be very unfortunate for him to try to abolish. We urge the President of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta, to intervene in this matter before it escalates.
The issue of saying that the chiefs from Garissa County should be recalled back to Garissa. It's very unfortunate because an administrator who is supposed to deal with matters of security now has overstepped his mandate and trying to interfere with issues of boundaries. Well, we very well know that there are specific commissions like IEBC and other independent commissions which are meant to deal with issues of boundaries. Those are the issues. Recalling chiefs who were recruited back since 1991, and they are being told, they are also instructed to recall the chiefs to Garissa County. Basically, that was the issue that raised a lot of concern.
Now, residents of Kawala village to Andu location in Makindi, Makueni County have continued to live in fear as lions continue to terrorize villagers, maim and kill their livestock in a week of frequent attacks. Residents recounted how 2 lions since January the 15th have left a trail of destruction, with one farmer losing 13 goats in 2 nights. Efforts by Kenya Wildlife Service officers to trap the lions has been futile, and set lion traps have ended up trapping dogs. The meat baits placed inside the lion traps have also continued to be a problem since KWS has failed to provide the same. Some of the villagers have resorted to guarding their livestock with spears and arrows. Efforts to speak to KWS on the continued suffering of the locals were futile.
Simba waliingia kwa boma wakashambulia mbuzi 10 na yote 4 kukadiri ile 7 ikawa mbuzi 11 na moja yao ilikuwa mnyamzito. Na hiyo yote tuliwaonyesha maofisa wetu wa wildlife, na nikikatiria mbuzi moja kama hizi ziliangushwa hapa, tunauza kwa shilingi kama ni hakika tunauza kwa shilingi 8,000. Hizi mnaziona hapa. Na ile kubwa kama ile 2 ngoti, unaiona ile, hiyo ni 14,000. Na kuna na iko zingine zimewawa na tuwezi kujua sasa ni ngapi.
Now, police in Eldoret have impounded a consignment of 158 cartons of illegal alcohol at Langa's estate, which is believed to be made using dangerous chemicals not fit for human consumption, like ethanol. Kepsaret Deputy Police Commander Francis Warui says one suspect has been arrested in connection with illegal alcohol business.
Utaosha kamera, my friend. Umeshika vizuri sana. Kazi. Unajua what these guys do?
Iko watu wanatengeneza pombe haramu upande ya annex karibu na miti moja. Tuliweza kwenda pale kwa hiyo nyumba na tukapata mshukiwa moja tukiwa na officers wa DCI, na tukapata ni ukweli. Ile habari tulipata ilikuwa ya ukweli. Pale pia tuliweza kupata drum moja ya ethanol, ya kumaanisha ya kwamba hawa watu wanatengenezea hiyo pombe haramu pale ndani. Tuliweza pia kupata 10,900 empty bottles ambaye zilikuwa ready kupakiwa hiyo pombe. Tulipata labels za company inajiita Nyota, ya kumaanisha hiyo pombe inatengenezwa na hiyo company inaitwa Nyota. Mwenye tulipata pale hakuweza kutuelezea alipata kibali wapi ya kutengeneza hiyo pombe na hiyo methanol alitoa wapi, na ndio tukaweza kuchukua hiyo vitu yote ili tuendelee na uchunguzi. So far hatujakamilisha uchunguzi, tungali tunaendelea, lakini hiyo pombe yote tuko naye. Tuliweza pia kuelezana na watu ya KRA na wakakuja pale kwa scene ili tusaidiane na uchunguzi.
Now, 15 aspirants have so far submitted their names to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IEBC) to be cleared to contest in the forthcoming Machakos senatorial by-election. Machakos County IEBC returning officer Joyce Wamalwa has said the lot will be subjected to a nomination process for eligibility. The 13 men and 2 women are expected to hand or present their documents.
So far, we have received 15 aspirants who have shown interest in the by-election, and they'll be submitting their documents for nomination on 25th and 26th of this month, beginning 8 a.m. in the morning. So far, we have had security meetings with the top security, and things are on course. Everything is going on very well. We are just appealing to the people of Machakos County that they should conduct themselves, and the elections should be peaceful, the campaigns should be peaceful. Of course, we expect very peaceful nominations. So far, we do not have any challenges, and we want to thank the security team for ensuring that everything is working well.
Now, as the country gears on towards the 2022 general election, the Abudwa clan in Garissa County have once again made history for endorsing nominated Senator Katra Iman to contest for the Garissa senatorial seat next year. According to her close allies, Katra is an ardent supporter of the BBI report, and if the document is passed, it could strengthen her popularity in the county.
Shida yote ni ya wanawake. Mwenye shida ni wanawake. Wanaume wakipata kitu wanaenda zao. Tunaomba wenyeji yote ya Garissa, wazee, kwanza wazee wasituambie hii kiti sio ya wanawake. Wanawake tunataka kufanya kazi kama wenzetu wa Down Kenya.
Kama sisi wakaji Garissa County tunakaribisha BBI kwa sababu ile jambo imelazimu sisi tu support BBI, ni kwa sababu ina support 100% wakina mama. Na sisi tunasema kama wakina mama kitambo tulikuwa tumewacha nyuma, safari hii tunaona venyeelekea wakina mama watafaidika zaidi, kwa sababu Constitution 2010 ilikuwa imetupea nafasi ya women rep. And I'm very sure by this time round wakina mama watabahatika sana, kwa sababu kama itapita BBI vile inaendelea sasa na iliyoko, na I'm sure very 100% BBI will go through na itapita.
Now, the national government is planning to construct affordable houses in Murang'a County in the next 3 months. The houses will be constructed on a 10-acre piece of land, courtesy of the Murang'a County government. Inspecting the project on Thursday, Housing and Urban Development Principal Secretary Charles Hinga said the main challenge in implementing the project has been getting land. PS Hinga also confirmed that the national and Murang'a County governments have signed a deal to see the project through.
Housing here done because there's a lot of land available, and in fact what the governor is making available is only a fraction of the potential of what can be done here. At the moment, when you go to Bomayangu, I have 300 and the last time I checked I had 312,000 Kenyans that have registered. Out of the 312,000, 20,000, 22,000 are already paying towards a home. If we can get all the counties, for example, to do what Murang'a has done, you can imagine single-handedly in one day we could possibly be able to bring almost 200,000 homes across the country just being constructed.
We have enough land strategically located, and we've made very good progress jointly with the Ministry of Housing, and we've already signed the agreement between the county government and the national government through the ministry that we are in it. We want to partner with the national government in terms of providing affordable housing.
Well, we now take a short commercial break, but we'll be back with more. Remember, you can follow this live broadcast on our website on www.tv47.co.ke.
When the clock strikes 7:30 p.m. every Monday, it means it's time for...
The biggest challenge of starting a business in Kenya is the layers of licenses you need to pay.
The Grind. We tell you the do's and don'ts of business.
But the biggest fear was whether I'm going to make it in business or whether I'll lose my 150,000.
I say business is not about how much capital you have.
The Grind, every Monday at 7:30 p.m. It's been an amazing year in the kitchen here on The Throwdown. We brought you ugali and brown fish by Sophia. The tasty butter chicken from the classic Mayura restaurant. And the sweet Oreo cake dessert by Lillian. This year, we bring you bigger and better from more mouth-watering meals, kitchen hacks, restaurant reviews, and even street foods. Tune in to The Throwdown every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. When the clock strikes 7:30 p.m. every Monday, it means it's time for...
The biggest challenge of starting a business in Kenya is the layers of...
V47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome back to Newsfeed right here on TV47. Of course, our team of dedicated journalists are following on some of the events currently happening, including the story that we talked about earlier on Kalonzo's date with the DCI officers at the DCI headquarters. Remember, Kalonzo was accompanied by Senators Mutula Kilonzo Jr. and Senator Orengo, and they want DP Ruto to also avail himself at the DCI headquarters over what he termed as alleged land grabbing by Kalonzo Musyoka, and that his 200-acre farm in Yatta, Machakos County was allegedly grabbed from the National Youth Council. Now in Mombasa, Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha is in Mombasa, and let's now head over there and listen in.
I am just from Kilifi, which is the highest populated area, and I was shocked because it was Kilifi Primary School this morning, and there is no girl there that has not returned to school because of pregnancy. So can we get our facts correct? Because there are teachers who are actually making sure that our children are chaperoned properly. Even where I am here, mwalimu umekaa nyuma sana, they won't see you. This is the head teacher, and I'm sure your cameras will not focus on her. Please focus on her. When you look at this school, what is your opinion of the school? We are in a microclimate where we are, isn't it? And she hasn't told me that there is any girl in standard 8 or standard 7 that has not returned to school because of pregnancy. Are we together? So when I say that we have got children who have returned to school at 99%, Madam Talaki, I want to tell you that the issue of pregnancy is not just peculiar to the coast. It's nationwide. The government has returned all the pregnant girls to school, except the ones who are just about to give birth, and our GAO have the data, together with Teacher Service Commission, together with ourselves. The ones who have just given birth, as soon as they are strong enough and the baby is being weaned by somebody else, will be brought back to school. Because like I keep saying, the only thing that will change this country is education. It is not politics. Education is the only power that we can give our children. And God was so kind that even that child that has been given to somebody who is in standard 8 may be the most intelligent for that group of children that are born on that day. I want to thank you very much for your continued cooperation. Mubaki salama. Who are you? You know, if I was Magoha, son of Magoha, I wouldn't have bothered answering you. First of all, I'm a top grade scientist and surgeon. 43 years. The people have trained our professors. And yesterday I said, which day are we in today? No, since we opened. Since we opened, we are in the third week, the end of the third week. Senor, we are at the end of the third week. What were the figures yesterday? It was 2.3%. Do you want me to listen to your politics or look at the facts? That by the grace of God, in His most infinite mercies, we have opened schools. We have not provided social distance to a large number of schools. But by the grace of God, the children are masked. How many of you have achieved corona? So that's how I work. I don't listen to hearsay. But I've answered because I'm sure I'm in public. If I was in private, I would have given you another answer. Let us have hope. Let us have hope for our children. Let us have hope for our children. I believe that I shall be alive tomorrow only because I fully trust in my God that I'll be alive tomorrow. Otherwise, there is no guarantee that we shall be alive tomorrow. Why do we always look at the bad side? So make sure that we wear our masks. If you have any relatives who are children, you look like you can afford masks, make sure you buy them masks, and life continues. Senor, the last one.
Yeah, maybe the issue of security Cappo with the Form 4 and Class 8 students. How are you going to do about it?
Under those circumstances, what I can tell you is this, the government will ensure that all the children do exams. The government will ensure that whenever the place is safe, because life comes first, isn't it? I'm sure you are referring to the few schools that may have been closed there by the security department, the security wing of government. The government is not asleep. As soon as security settles down, the schools will be reopened. Otherwise, we shall make sure that the children are relocated to a place that they can learn. It is not the first time. You remember this happened in Lamu at one time. There was no time we said that children in Lamu are not supposed to get education, and they still had their exams. I want to thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your continued cooperation. Mwendelee kutusaidia. Please give hope to our children. Stop being prophets of doom all the time. Thank you.
That was Professor George Magoha on the back to school. Now let's move on to Makwani County. The government has confiscated roaming cattle in Wote town in a bid to curb town livestock keeping. The county has led a major operation where over 200 goats, cows, donkeys and sheep were rounded up and ferried to a yard at Kadonzweni Market. The livestock is said to be a source of major accidents in Makwani town and a major threat to the town's beautification efforts because they have been feeding on newly planted grass and seedlings. Jacqueline Kamosa, an environment officer who led the operation, says every animal attracts a punitive fine, with a cow attracting 200 shillings and a goat owner must pay 100 shillings to get it back. The animals will be auctioned if the owners do not come for them in 7 days.
We did mapping in Wote town to know the homes that have cattle. We also issued some improvement notice to the owners, and the owners also signed a commitment letter to remove the animals from town. The issue with roaming animals is that we have issues like they cause accidents. We also have some trees that were planted along the town that the cattle are eating. So it was important because this is a public nuisance and it is also an environmental issue. We tackle it because we've already given them some improvement notice. They signed commitment letters to remove the cattle, but they have not done so. According to our Finance Act, there are some fine and penalties.